Welcome, everyone. As you can tell by that magnificent intro, we're going against the one and only, my arch nemesis, Arthur MC, which I can only assume stands for Minecraft. Or maybe he's a rapper. And you might be wondering, well, why is he your arch nemesis? Well, because he stole my Volcarona. Right before it was my turn. So needless to say, I have to win this battle. Let's look at the builder. Alright everyone, so for this one I really had to get my think juices going. I had to think really hard about it. Like, all jokes aside, it's not because of the Volcarona thing or anything, it's just offensively his team is really annoying. Samacenta Crown, Gengar, Roaring Moon, all of those are a nasty combination, especially Roaring Moon Gengar. I think that's a really nice score. So I just figured defensively we're not gonna really win. So offensively is how we're gonna turn the tides over here. And also looking at his team defensively, I also had the upper hand, I would say. So I was, that's just in general, but going more in depth with like typing, I noticed that the opposing team is really weak to flying, so that's what got me thinking, okay, Gyarados, but what Gyarados said. So I went with Terrafly, Earthquake, Substitute DD, because it breaks pretty good. I just need to get rid of Samacenta, or at least get rid of the defense boost that it gets from it's not Intrepid Sword, it's the other one. Intrepid Shield, I guess. I don't know. Whichever, because it actually takes all my Earthquakes real good. And this set original, I wanted like Bounce and stuff like that, but Gyarados actually doesn't learn Bounce anymore. And it's mainly for Ditto, but then I realized I can just bring this and Ditto cannot copy Terra Blast, so it can only Earthquake against me, and I'm always gonna be flying. So I actually beat Ditto 1v1. And the other thing I noticed with the other team is that I can win with just Earthquake. The flying type that they have was not very good against me, I will say. Or rather, I think he would have prioritized other things. And yeah, so I could win with Earthquake, and you're probably thinking, well, what's the point? You're always gonna be Terrafly. Going to my defensive backbone, I'm bringing Terra Fairy on Clodsire. This is in case something like Roaring Moon or Iron Thorns get out of hand, because I get rid of my ground weakness, and well, especially for Roaring Moon, I wall most of the stabs. And I have low kick for both, because I am expecting maybe something like Air Balloon on Iron Thorn, sorry, not Threads. That's the elephant one. And yeah, so with low kick I can actually deal with that. I would have liked Toxic, but then I'm thinking, what if it's like Taunt, Roaring Moon or something like that? It's like, oh yeah, I don't want to just be stuck on that stuff. Or like Substitute on either of them, or the Roaring Moon or the Iron Thorns. Spikes, because they're really good. But yeah, so this is the defensive backbone. I kind of went ahead, but we're not done with the flying types, because I figured Gyarados can win as long as I weaken Samacenta and Iron Thorns, and also Gengar is not Scarf. Wakam Berry helps me kind of bypass that, but that's a lot of conditions. So I figured, let's bring another flying type. Bulk Up Corviknight is amazing here, as it breaks for Gyarados later on, and this thing just never dies. And yeah, I am also Wakamberry here because I'm dirty, and I wanna. These are like the same guy. They like break for each other. Of course, this one being faster and this one being bulkier. And you probably won't believe this, but at +1, I can take a Wild Charge Energy Booster attack from Iron Thorns at +2. So in my mind, I set up a bulk up. They go into Iron Thorns and they start DDing up in my face. I go for the body press. As long as they're not flying, I'm gonna be doing a good chunk. But if they turn flying, I got Brave Beard still. So I will hopefully keep them from getting too many Dragon Dances and too many being 2, because after 2 I kind of lose. It's actually faster than Regieleki, believe it or not. So if he gets 2, I have to rely on this guy. But if it only go 1, I have many things to get rid of it. But even at +2, I don't die. That's the big deal here. And that's what Corviknight's gonna do. So yeah, I saw the flying weakness and I figured I'm gonna bring both. Then I have the defensive backbone here. And I also thought, okay, I need some more help with some hazards. And we're bringing Hydreigon Sash Lead again. And this is the Garchomp Larp. It's the Dragon Ground with rocks. And yeah, I am well aware that Garchomp doesn't learn Taunt, but you get my point. This thing is really hard to switch into. Draco Meteor Earth Power hits everything, and I got Taunt to keep the Gastrodon from healing, as well as Iron Thorns from setting up or from putting spikes on the ground or something like that. I'm gonna lead with this. I beat pretty much everything. I assume if there's like a Roaring Moon lead, which is what I expect, that probably means they're Scarf. In which case, I get my rocks. If they lead Samacenta, I'll value either rocks or Earth Power, depends on the rest of the team, but probably Earth Power. But I am assuming Gastrodon lead, in which case I taunt, so there's no rocks, because Gastrodon gets rocks now, which is... I can no longer say that Seismitoad's better, unfortunately. It's still better in my heart, but yeah. And then so I taunt, I set up mine, and Draco actually 2-hit KOs it. Yeah, that's to help these two guys. And also to help them out is Energy Booster Speed, Aron Valiant. Moonblast Aurasphere Side Shock hits pretty much everything. I always kill Gengar. The only way is like if it has like some bulk, but then after rocks it does die. And at +1 I kill it for sure. I don't expect to ever click Calm Mind, but I'm thinking if the battle becomes like defensively on his side, after I Calm Mind, Moonblast doing like way too much to Gastrodon. It actually close to hit KOing, assuming it's leftovers and stuff like that. This is like the weakest link in the team, maybe. I know you see the screens and stuff. It is to help both Corviknight and Gyarados, but they're not essential. And I also don't see this guy coming in too many. It's really weak, and he has Gastrodon, which I would prefer Gastrodon's not on the field. Alright everyone, so this is post commentary as usual, because I can never get my house to be quiet. Everybody likes to mow their lawn around here, so I don't know what to say. But yes, here we go against Arthur. He is bringing pretty much what I expected. Because I couldn't see Serena coming really, or Braviary or anything like that. Here I lead Hydra because that's the plan. I'm just kind of looking at what he has there. The plan again, just a reminder. Set up rocks, break some stuff down, just lower their HP so I can sweep later with either Corviknight or Gyarados. Preferably Corviknight first and then Gyarados. Because if that's the order of things, then Gyarados has a very easy way of breaking everything. Defensive Backbone on Clodsire. Iron Valiant also to weaken things, and then Regieleki because it's Regieleki and it's amazing, fantastic, perfect, and the best mon ever created. Alright, here we go. Versus Arthur. I love this song, by the way. They lead Gengar, as I lead Hydreigon. So here, the reason I Earth Power is because I don't expect them to stay in. If they stay in, it's probably because they're Scarf and they know that they're faster. So I Earth Power predicting Samacenta. Because, well, I led with this, so I'm guessing on the other side, my opponent's thinking, wow, they must have something for Gengar. And yes, I do. It's called Focus Sash. But yeah, if he was Scarf, Dazzling Gleam will kill me. But again, I could have been anything to take on that, which is why I led Hydreigon. So I understand him switching out, and the reason I Earth Power is because I expect Samacenta on, you know, switching into Dark Pulse or Draco Meteor. He switches out into Gastrodon, and I get some beautiful chip. This also tells me that he is mostly special defensive, which makes sense considering the things I have. But here I'm just very easily going to click Taunt, because I'm expecting rocks. And also to prevent this thing from Draco Meteoring. That's not a word, that's why it kind of screwed me over. But yes, Draco does a lot to this, and I would like to keep it at bay. I'm probably caulking. I am modest, so the caulk might be a little weird if they're expecting Scarf, which I am not. So I go for Taunt, and I prevent the rocks from going up. Yep, exactly. So now I'm gonna go for my own, expecting this to stay in and maybe Ice Beam me. That's about the only thing Gastrodon can do to Hydreigon, other than I guess Body Slam, right? He's probably like Poison move for Iron Valiant though. Yeah, so he switches out and goes into Samacenta, which I welcome this with open arms because now I can Earth Power and the Dauntless Shield, that's what it's called. The ability only works once, so if this thing switches out, I will have an easier way with Gyarados. So yeah, here I'm debating it, but I don't see why. I mean, yeah, Earth Power just makes sense, because once this thing gets a little, just a tiny bit of HP down, Gyarados has an easier time, and also Iron Valiant can just KO it later. I am guessing he is a speed investment, which is why this is gonna do so much. But he ends up switching out into Gastrodon. Takes rocks, and it's going to be now around, what is it, like 60? Yeah. For leftovers. And I can actually kill this with Draco Meteor, which is why I don't bother taunting, and I just go for Draco. It's so hard to not spoil. He switches out. He goes into Command plus C, which I already know it's Ditto because of the name, and when this happened, I was cheering. I hit the Draco and I take it out. And there goes Ditto, which I was not exactly scared of, because like I said, my Gyarados beats that set. And I'm not too sure why he switched into Ditto. I'm guessing he expected Taunt, or maybe he expected me to be Dark Pulse Earth Power, but I will never do that knowing that he has Ditto. He goes Iron Thorns and it's Energy Booster, so already I'm a little relieved because he's not like Earth Balloon. He's not Air Balloon. And I got for Taunt. He Terra into a Ground type, which is one of the types I was expecting. I thought Fly will come in. Well, I was debating fly or ground, but I was thinking flying will be a lot more scary. But if he was Air Balloon, obviously ground would make more sense. I taunt predicting that he's going to either set up something or Dragon Dance, and he does go for Dragon Dance. I'm guessing he expected me to switch out, but knowing that I have taunt, he should have maybe attacked, in my opinion at least. Because now I get a Draco, and he's a half HP. And I am still alive because I'm focused. He doesn't break it, but you know, as long as I don't get frozen, it would have been pretty good. Here I'm debating Draco or Earth Power. I think I just go for Earth Power because it doesn't miss, and also in case, for whatever reason, they go to Samacenta, but I am assuming he stays in. Ice Punch takes me down, and there goes Hydreigon. Thank you for your service. Those rocks are magnificent. And the chip on this thing and also Gastrodon is quite magnificent. Here I am debating how the next turns are gonna go because I do have to go Iron Valiant. Clodsire can actually die to Earthquake because he is Terra Ground. I cannot go into... I could go Gyarados to get a Moxie, but I would rather just go Valiant. I don't wanna... Gyarados is too early, if that makes sense. There's still a possible Scarf Gengar in the back and a full HP Samacent. So, booster speed, I am now faster than everything in his team except for booster speed on Roaring Moon or Scarf as well. Moonblast takes this out because, yeah, I'm very strong on the special side. This does like half to him. So I knew he was in range. So that's a kill for Valiant. Here comes Samacenta. Here I'm thinking I could go into Clodsire, but I don't want that to get chipped down too quickly. You can see there I'm thinking about it. I could also go into Corviknight and start setting up, but I thought I can just chip this down and have an easier time. So that's what I go for. I just Aura Sphere. I know I'm gonna die because he should, like, I'm expecting the Behemoth Bash or Heavy Slam or whatever because I have Clodsire as an in. The other thing I expected was maybe Wild Charge trying to get my Corviknight, but that didn't make as much sense because Wild Charge wouldn't kill Iron Valiant. And I mean, you know, like, I'm in front of him, he has to kill me. Even if I go into something else, it's better to kill Iron Valiant, so it makes sense that he clicked that. Not only because he hits the Clodsire as well. So I go Corviknight and I'm gonna start doing what I'm supposed to do because this thing's slow, it's very low. And if they go for Wild Charge, they will pop my Wakan and I will take like no damage. They switch out. I was expecting either trying to match me with Iron defenses or like Rest or Wild Charge like I mentioned. They go straight into Gengar, so I already know that this is a Scarf because why else would you go Gengar? He's going to try and trick me the Scarf. Because I know that I'm not going to set up anymore, I'm just going to attack. And this, after Rocks, is 100% in range of +1 Brave Bird. Gives me a Scarf. It doesn't exactly matter because I am faster than Gastrodon anyway, and everything else I am slower even with the Scarf. There goes Gengar. No Curse Body. Curse Body would have been pretty bad. I actually... This sequence of events happened in a mock battle, and Iron Thorns was still alive, and that made me lose. But because Iron Thorns was not alive, I figured I can just Brave Bird everything here. It's not a problem, and if he gets disabled, I have outs. They are Jolok, which doesn't do a whole lot, and as you can see, Brave Bird's gonna bring this down to, I'd say like 5%, maybe less. And all I can do is Brave Bird. I'm just breaking at this point. Corviknight's doing what it's supposed to do. He U-turns, so that means he's not choice block. I'm still wondering what set he was. He's not boots. Huh. I'm guessing it also had roost, maybe? I feel like you need something for Valiant, though. You know what? I think he might have been weakness policy. Like acrobatics or something. That way he can set up on Corviknight. If I go for like Body Burst or something. This goes down. But yeah, like I said, I have no idea what the Roaring Moon set was, but it didn't do a whole lot to my Corviknight. And it also had a U-turn, which was pretty weird. So he is down to just Samacenta on Roaring Moon. I am going to switch here. And I'm not switching to like preserve anything really. It's just that I don't want this guy clicking rest. Because Body Press does a lot, but Brave Bird not so much. So I am locked into Brave Bird and I cannot just spam Brave Bird on a Samacenta because he won't do that much. And I will die to recall and stuff. So I'm predicting a rest, and I would like to get Regieleki in to get up a Reflect and then Volt Switch out into something else. He does go for Body Press and it almost kills me. It does a pretty good amount. A crit would have killed me, but I am Regieleki. I have some HP investment so I can set up screens. And Volt Switch actually kills because I am max special attack. So now it comes down to just Roaring Moon. And here I figure I'll go Gyarados because there's nothing that kills me. And well, I gotta admit I'm a little cheeky here because I'm trying to get Gyarados another kill so I can remain as the MVP on the document. But I mean, come on, you would have done the same, right? I don't lose anything by doing this, really. He's like, I could kill it with just normal Terra Blast. That's how low they are. Right, Terra into Flying type just to make it pretty. You know, it's the last turn. Jawlock was about half. Roaring Moon is super strong, dude. And I can't run away anymore. That's another reason why I think he was maybe weakness policy, Jawlock, so that Corviknight can escape. I could have U-turned though, but regardless, it never came down to that, so we'll never know. And I take down the Roaring Moon, and that's the battle. The Hydreigon put in so much work, dude. Yes. GG to Arthur, I think you played really well. Your team was, no doubt, really scary. And I am happy with my prep. I would like to see that Roaring Moon, like for sure. So if you're watching this and you can tell me that said, I would love that. And yeah, goodbye.